And now, without further ado, please welcome our Councilwoman and Minority Whip of the New York City Council, Inna Vernikov.
Good evening. Good evening, South Brooklyn. What a crowd. Please take your seats, everyone. Thank you so much to all of you who have made it here tonight from near and far. And before I get started, I want to thank my mother, who is here with us tonight, and without whom I definitely would not be standing here in front of you. A little over 2 years ago, I was living my American dream, an immigrant practicing law in New York City. I gave up that dream to serve my community. And to be quite honest, there are days I wake up and wonder, what the hell was I thinking? But then I look around this room and I see the beauty that is our New York City and the true melting pot that is South Brooklyn. I see people from all walks of life, of different religions, nationalities, backgrounds, colors, beliefs, and political orientations, Democrats, Republicans, Independents. However, a little disclaimer to all my Democrat friends here. I am not a George Santos Republican. I actually did go to Baruch College, and I am Jewish, not Jewish. With that in mind, I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues from my side of the aisle in the Republican delegation. Ladies and gentlemen, from the no longer forgotten borough of Staten Island, Minority Leader Joe Borelli. Joe, where are you? Councilmember David Carr. Assemblyman Michael Novikov. As well as representation from the office of Assemblyman Lester Chang. From the other side of the aisle, Council members Bob Holden and Carmen Yeager. Councilmember Farrah Lewis, Assemblyman Bill Colton, and representation from Senator Jessica Scarsella-Spanton. And of course, from the new aisle, Councilmember Ari Kagan. From the mayor's office, we welcome Chief Advisor to the Mayor, Dr. Ingrid Lewis Martin. Senior Advisor to the Mayor, who I know was here earlier, Joel Eisdorfer. Deputy Chief of Staff to Senior Advisor to the Mayor, Keisha Humphrey. Community Affairs Commissioner Fred Kreisman. New York City Planning Commissioner Joseph Dweck. And our liaison to the Mayor's office, Ethan Gural. Also, I'd like to acknowledge the Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez, First Deputy Commissioner of the NYPD Edward Caban, and representatives from the Office of New York City Comptroller. We welcome Chairwoman of the Brooklyn Conservative Party, Fran Vella-Marone. Executive Director of the Brooklyn GOP, Richie Barsamian. GOP Secretary Ray Riley. President of New York City Board of Elections, Commissioner Shamoon. Former Congressman Peter King. Former council member who used to sit in my seat, Councilmember Michael Nelson. And I must say, your lovely wife, Maureen. And former chair of the Brooklyn GOP, Craig Eaton. I sincerely apologize if I missed anyone. This is a business where offending someone by accident is a mortal sin. When I think about public service, I think about the privilege I've been given to have the opportunity to impact so many lives, to be a voice for the voiceless, and to take on issues that many are afraid to tackle. And when I think about what we have been able to accomplish in just a little over a year, I am reminded that all the sacrifices were worth it. Maybe. But none of my work would be remotely possible without the village that it takes to serve a district with close to 180,000 residents, especially when you represent neighborhoods like Manhattan Beach. Inside joke. I'd like to ask all members of my staff to please rise. Mary Scarfolero, Sasha Rebels, Karen Zhao, Jackie Schaefer, Daniel Ganapolsky, Chung Dick, Troy Olson, Izzy Weiss, Yoni Heikins, and John Allen. And of course, all of our amazing interns, Gleb, Shayla, Danny, and Marley. Can we get a little light here? Ladies and gentlemen, if you can see them, that is the reason our office ranks #1 in Brooklyn and #2 in New York City for constituent services. Since December 2nd, 2021, our office completed close to 3,800 cases. Mary, thank you. Mary, if you can please remain standing, even though nobody can probably see you. Mary, I don't know, oh, here you are. Mary, you have been the rock that keeps our office going every day, all day, 25/8, whether it's a flood issue, a tree that needs to be trimmed, illegally parked commercial vehicles that need to be towed, or a constituent who needs to navigate the red tape bureaucracy that often overwhelms the average New Yorker. Mary will not rest until it is done. For over 20 years of service to Brooklynites from our district, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Our district and I personally have been blessed with some of the most dedicated and passionate staff members that any council member can ask for. Through this journey, we have become more than a team. We have become a family. As a family, we work together, we laugh and celebrate together, we panic together, and we are also so blessed to be dealing with our ever-growing list of stalkers together. On a more serious note, when I took office in December of 2021, our city and district were grappling with the devastating effects of a deadly pandemic. So many families lost loved ones, businesses closed, children and seniors were isolated. COVID led us to a state of chaos and uncertainty that we as a city have not felt or seen in a long time. This pandemic impacted all areas of our lives, including health, individual liberties, education, and crime. I'd like to give a big shout out to Svetlana Lipanskaya. Svetlana, please rise. Svetlana is the first Russian-speaking CEO of New York City Health and Hospital South Brooklyn, formerly known as Coney Island Hospital. Ms. Lipanskaya exemplified what it means to lead through exceptional challenges. I was proud to fund the hospital with $400,000 in capital funding to upgrade the roof of the main building, purchase a patient transport vehicle, a hospital police vehicle, and acquire a police security recording system. I'd like to thank our first responders, especially our doctors, nurses, and firefighters who risk their lives to attend to critical and ailing patients without PPE and when much was still unknown about this horrible virus. Some of these nurses are here with us today, so let's give them a round of applause. When you hear your name, I'm sorry if I'm going to botch some of your names. Antonina Sukhanova, Lindsay Bedford, Bodara Juice, Rashbir Fukar, and Christina Gringott. Thank you. In this post-pandemic world we found ourselves in, people were afraid to take public transportation, patronize restaurants, parents were afraid to have their children and seniors out late at night. And with crime steadily on the rise, somehow, defund the police was a phrase that was reverberating stronger than ever. As a result of this anti-police sentiment, we saw police officers killed in the line of duty. Detective Jason Rivera and Wilbert Mora were tragically taken away from us. Last month, our community also lost police officer Adid Fayaz, at only 26 years young, who was killed during an attempted robbery, and our hearts go out to his family who are still grieving their son, father, and husband. And although I don't always see eye to eye with our mayor, Eric Adams, when it comes to the issue of rising crime, he has made it clear from day one that public safety is his #1 priority. And despite political barriers and obstacles from Albany and some in our city council, he is determined not to quit until every New Yorker feels safe. And let's just be honest here, it's no secret that whenever any man does anything good, there's always a woman involved. In this case, that woman is Dr. Ingrid Lewis Martin, Chief Advisor to the Mayor. Ingrid, please stand. Thank you, Ingrid. From day one, I have made it my absolute priority to do the utmost within my capacity when it comes to the safety of our communities. Fighting for months through layers of red tape, I ensured that 40 NYPD security camera boxes are installed and utilized in vulnerable areas in our district, such as near parks and places of worship. The first phase of this project has been completed. Second and third will begin this spring. When a bill which would prohibit landlords from conducting criminal background checks on potential tenants was introduced in the council, I did not check the direction of the political winds, nor did I allow any politics to cloud my judgment or undermine my determination to do what I believe was right. And there is someone here in this room who stood beside me, always willing to do what needs to be done, busy educating and rallying his community about the potential harm this bill would cause. Executive Director of the James E. Davis Stop Violence Foundation, civil rights peace activist, and brother of James Davis, the councilman who was killed on the steps of City Hall, my friend, Jeffrey Davis. Please rise. Thank you, Jeffrey. Seeing a disturbing rise in violence against the Asian Americans across our city, I have been asking myself, what can I do? And on a random afternoon, it clicked. The Jewish community, who has been no stranger to hate and violence, has a successful model for civilians who volunteer to work hand in hand with our police departments to help combat and deter crime. For years, Shomrim and Shmira, groups made up of civilian volunteers, have been operating as neighborhood patrol groups in and out of our district. So I called Bob Moskowitz, the executive coordinator of Flatbush Shomrim, and without hesitation, Bob extended his helping hand to help guide us in creating our own civilian neighborhood patrol in the Asian community. Together, we embarked on a journey to create a similar group. I know that Bob couldn't be here with us today, but he sent great representation. Will members of Flatbush Shomrim please rise? Thank you all for your incredible service to our community. Another important partner in this project has been Captain Derby St. Fort, our commanding officer of the 61st Precinct, who immediately jumped to the opportunity to help, participated in sessions, and is actively working with us to make this project a success. Thank you, Captain Derby St. Fort. Inspired by groups like Shomrim and Shmira, created with the partnership of Flatbush Shomrim, I am delighted to finally announce the launch of an incredible initiative, which I am proud to have spearheaded, along with amazing community partners, Asian Community Watch. Today, volunteers, along with Captain St. Fort, embarked on their first patrol in our neighborhood. I plan to join them on the next one, and we invite anyone who wishes to volunteer to apply. Currently, ACW has around 30 volunteers signed up and will be conducting weekly patrols. This project required and continues to require a tremendous amount of dedication, time, effort, and energy from all those involved. Will Dewey Fung, Lena Chen, Stanley Ng, Chung Dick, and Bernard Chow, along with any other volunteers who are here today, please rise. They're right here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to the men and women of the newly minted Asian Community Watch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think this is the longest speech I've ever made. We touched on the deadly pandemic that's engulfed our city, country, and the world, and took thousands of lives. Now I'd like to talk about a different disease, the oldest form of discrimination, the virus of Jew hatred. For centuries, Jews have been murdered, persecuted, and expelled from every corner of the world for committing one sin, being born a Jew. Coming from a family of Eastern European Jews and now representing thousands of Jewish constituents, Holocaust survivors, their children and grandchildren, this is an issue that hits home for me on so many levels. For Jewish immigrants who fled to our country for tolerance, acceptance, and freedom, the promise that America would be their refuge seems to no longer be a guarantee. Our city, the same. For the first time in my life, the Jewish people are questioning whether or not their future in our city and country is secure. With the near 300% rise in anti-Semitic crimes in New York City, 94% of physical assaults are against identifiable Jews. While Jewish Americans make up only 2% of the population, they make up 60% of all hate crimes. That's more than every other protected minority group combined. But any conversation we have here about anti-Semitism cannot take place without the mention of someone who has for close to 20 years been my mentor and inspiration when it comes to this subject. For over 40 years, the Jewish community has known that there is one man you can always count on when it comes to standing up for them. I am incredibly privileged to have him stand by my side as a true partner in this fight against Jew hatred. Will the Honorable former State Assemblyman and founder of Americans Against Anti-Semitism, Dov Hikind, please rise? Dov, on behalf of all Americans Against Anti-Semitism, pun intended, I thank you for your 36 years in public service, for your passionate, relentless dedication to the Jewish people way beyond your tenure in office. In the same way that our city was a sanctuary for all immigrants, the City University of New York was a safe haven for Jewish students and faculty. However, in recent years, that reality has dramatically changed. A pervasive culture of anti-Semitism, harassment, intimidation, and discrimination has permeated the halls of an institution that was once a beacon of tolerance and diversity of ideas. Years before I was ever approached about running for public office, I was intimately involved in shining a light on the issues that impact thousands of Jewish students and faculty at CUNY. So it should come as no surprise that one of my priorities was tackling the issue of anti-Semitism at CUNY. I was proud to spearhead and participate in an unprecedented full-day hearing in the City Council, exposing and educating the public on the deep-rooted challenges Jewish students and faculty face at CUNY. I want to thank Councilmember Dinowitz for hosting, and Councilmembers Borelli, Brewer, and Feliz for participating in the hearing, and a special thanks to Councilmember Kalman Yeager for standing with me and sticking with it till the very end. Since the hearing, and after continuously working with the CUNY Chancellor and his team, the City University of New York has built a centralized portal where students and faculty can report complaints about discrimination and anti-Semitism, committed $750,000 to anti-Semitism training throughout all 25 campuses, committed to expanding Israel exchange programs, implemented the IRA definition of anti-Semitism into their DEI manual. And although we have got a long way to go, I am cautiously optimistic that more change is coming. But one thing is for sure, when it comes to fighting for the civil rights of the Jewish people, I will never remain silent. On December 26, 2021, just about 2 weeks after being sworn into office, I was contacted by two devastated mothers who proceeded to share with me about their son's encounter with hate. The boys were shopping for sneakers in Brooklyn, and one of them, Blake Zavatsky, accompanied by his friend Elon, was wearing an IDF hoodie. Blake was approached by a group of men who threatened violence if he would not take off the hoodie. When Blake refused, the man spilled coffee on him, called him a dirty Jew, and punched him in the face. Most victims of hate are too traumatized and afraid to pursue legal action and speak publicly about what happened to them. Not only was Blake not afraid to speak up, he has become an important voice for all victims of hate crimes. I am proud to have stood with Blake from day one at press conferences, in court, by marching on the streets, protesting in public, and by speaking out about it in the media, on national and international news. Blake's family continued to be the epitome of Jewish strength and pride. Tonight, Blake is wearing his IDF hoodie, and he's here with Elon and their families. And I ask them to stand so we can thank them for their courage and support. Also with us is Joy Borgen, who was brutally beaten for being Jewish and has become another voice in our pursuit of ensuring that there are consequences for physical attacks against Jews. In our fight for justice for Blake, Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez has shown a real commitment to taking these crimes seriously, and we are grateful to him. Is DA Gonzalez here? Almost. Well, we thank DA Gonzalez. Okay, he's being represented. Well, please thank DA Gonzalez for this. While there is so much left to do when it comes to hate crimes and crime in general, we must appreciate all the work that is being done and acknowledge all of the partners involved. Will First Deputy Commissioner Edward Caban, Chief of Brooklyn South Charles McAvoy, Inspector Richie Taylor, Commanding Officer Derby St. Fort, Commanding Officer Bruce Cipriano, Commanding Officer James King, Chief Joe Fox, Ira Jablonski, Detectives Espinoza and Morin, and all members of the NYPD, please rise. We in the 48th District want you to know that we never take for granted the sacrifices you and your families make every day when you wake up and spend your days protecting us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, NYPD. I also would like to congratulate Chief McAvoy on his new post and wish him the best of luck. And congratulations to my dear friend, Chief Joe Fox, on being appointed to serve on the CCRB board. Commissioner Sewell and Mayor Adams could not have made a better choice. Thank you for always encouraging me with positive insights, words of wisdom, and being a great mentor. In case some of you are not familiar, we have in the City Council something called the Common Sense Caucus. Contrary to popular belief, there are some in the City Council who still value common sense. Even some Democrats. Our caucus, comprised of both Republicans and Democrats, played an instrumental role in advocating for the lifting of mandates for city workers and other New Yorkers. Thanks to my colleagues, Councilmember Borelli, Ariola, Carr, Yeager, Holden, Palladino, Kagan, and we thank the mayor for hearing us. A little over a year ago, a devastating war with no end in sight was perpetrated on the people of Ukraine. Tens of thousands of innocent lives were lost at the hands of an evil dictator. My first piece of legislation in the City Council was a bipartisan resolution expressing support of our city for the people of Ukraine. Together with Rabbi Winner of Seabreeze Jewish Center, Mohammed Razvi from Kopo, United Hatzalah, and Coney Island Hospital, over 300 packages of aid were sent to the border. We continue to assist in connecting Ukrainian refugees and their families to vital resources such as immigration, housing, and legal assistance. If I can ask, I think Commissioner Castro is not here, but I want to thank him for all his support in this endeavor. I'd also like to thank Yaakov Rashapsi, who I think is here with us tonight, who voluntarily put himself in harm's way, traveled to the border to help transport people to safety, and got them the medical supplies and food they desperately needed. I was proud to work with him. We pray for a swift ending to this unnecessary and senseless bloodshed, and we stand united in support of the people of Ukraine. So from daily sanitation issues to traffic, speed bumps, towing illegally parked vehicles, landlord-tenant issues, removing abandoned and sunken vessels, to property tax exemptions, to participating in community-based food pantries, to holiday giveaways. We could not do any of this without the assistance of citywide agencies. With that, and we love all agencies, but a big shout out to one of the most effective city agencies we have. Can you guess it? You won't believe it. Wait for it. The New York City Department of Sanitation. We'd like to ask Chief James Maglino from DSNY to please stand. Chief, you may not know this, but we have you on speed dial. Thank you for being exceptional. We also thank Commissioner Marty Umar from Parks and representatives from the National Grid who are here with us today. We're also proud to fund schools, hospitals, and nonprofits. And none of our community engagement can be successful without the wonderful community-based organizations. I am proud to work alongside all those involved, some of whom are here with us today. APNA, Knafayim, ICNA, COPO, PEO, SCF, FGCC, Kings Bay Y, COJO, and Hatsala. Thank you all for your incredible work in our communities, and thank you for being here tonight. With all that said, what is the state of our district? So I could be like every other elected official and tell you that the state of our district is perfect and never been stronger, and that we have no challenges or obstacles, that everything was awful before me and everything is great now that I am here. But that would not be reality. The reality is that there's still a lot of work to be done, and we are just getting started. What I can tell you is that every effort possible will be expanded, and no stone will be left unturned to ensure that the diverse communities that make up the 48th continue to have the support, advocacy, and voice that they deserve, representing, fighting, and being accountable to the people every day that I have the privilege to serve. And to quote former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, we must always remember, that's not an endorsement, that we must always remember that even on our worst day, we are blessed to live in the United States of America. Thank you all so much. Yeah, the speech is over. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our city. God bless our district. And God bless the United States of America.
Ну, это формат известный, да, то есть есть State of the State, это когда губернатор, так сказать, отчитывается о том, что было сделано, и предлагает, что надо сделать в ближайшее время. Есть так называемый State of the City, да, это когда мэр делает то же самое, отчитывается и предлагает решение проблем, а это State of the District, да, то есть это послание району нашего города. Ну, я считаю, что за то короткое время, пока Инна была на своем посту, на посту депутата городского совета, ну, если уж мы по-русски говорим, да, то так это будет звучать по-русски, она сделала очень много. Потому что, ну, во-первых, она любит то, что она делает, это самое важное. Да? Это вообще самое важное для любого избранного чиновника, скажем так, да? Любить то, что ты делаешь. Не бежать туда, потому что ты очень хочешь увидеть себя на плакате там, или по телеку, да? А действительно любить то, что ты делаешь, любить людей. Это безумно, это самое важное, пожалуй. У Инны есть сердце, человек с сердцем. И это здорово. Я счастлив, что мы с Инной делим наш дистрикт, я в штате, она в городе. Я считаю, что она четко описала, абсолютно четко описала то, что было сделано, то, что нужно сделать. Поэтому 5 баллов, отличное послание от депутата городской думы города Нью-Йорка Инны Верников. Мы сделаем еще очень много хороших дел вместе, я уверен.